the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World films completely redefined how we see dinosaurs, but none of it would have been possible without the animatronics and the studios, engineers, and artists who brought these prehistoric beasts to life. I'm Walt, and today we're diving into part 4 of our series on the best Jurassic Park animatronics, including dinos you've never seen before, like the newest creatures from Jurassic World Rebirth, and even one that was never used in the films. If you love dinosaurs and animatronics as much as I do, smash that subscribe button with Dino Fury or risk being eaten alive by the Compies. Pyroaptor, Jurassic World Dominion. In our 3rd episode of this series, we talked about all the rumors surrounding the animatronics that were supposed to be used in Jurassic World Dominion. But this next animatronic, it's incredible. And unfortunately, it didn't make the final cut. Let me tell you why. I'm talking about the Pyroaptor animatronic. This dinosaur was built by the amazing team of John Nolan and Carl Gallivan. And what made it so special was a groundbreaking feature, an oil-filled pupil system designed by Gallivan himself, which allowed the animatronic to dilate its pupils. The system used compressed clear silicone oil to create a magnifying lens over a flexible membrane. So when the Pyro opens its eye and adjusts the pupil, it looks insanely lifelike. Seriously, it's on another level. Sadly, the animatronic was never used in the actual movie. According to rumors, once it was on set, Colin Trevorrow wasn't convinced by it and decided to go fully CGI for the Pyroaptor scenes. Now, in my humble opinion, I don't think that scene looks very realistic. Yes, I get it. It's a fast-paced action sequence, and no animatronic could pull that off alone. I still think they could have simplified the shot and gone with a blend of CGI and animatronic. It would have added so much more balance and realism. Because as it is now, the whole thing just feels kind of exaggerated and hard to believe. Anyway, while the movie wasn't exactly a storytelling masterpiece, and I do think they wasted a ton of potential by not exploring more of the dinosaurs in the city concept, at least it gave us dozens of animatronics. And we'll be covering many more of them in part 5. But first, let's look at one of the coolest practical effects in the entire franchise. Compy practical and animatronic effects. Do you remember that scene in the Lost World Jurassic Park where those demonic little compies have an all-you-can-eat buffet with poor Peter Stormare? Yeah, easily one of the most brutal and disturbing deaths in the entire franchise. Now, what if I told you that the actual attack, yes, that violent little banquet, courtesy of my distant cousins, was done almost entirely with practical effects? While the compies running through the forest were CGI, the actual attack was pulled off using animatronics and physical puppets. The legendary Stan Winston studio built 12 different compies for that scene. But instead of creating a one-size-fits-all puppet, they made 4 distinct types, each built to do one specific thing really well. And that changed everything. As Shane Mahan, co-founder of Legacy Effects, once said, producers always go, just build a general puppet, but that's never as good as building several that each do one thing incredibly well. So, how'd they pull it off? Well, some compies were literally Velcroed onto the actor and connected to a fishing line. Off camera, puppeteers yanked the line and bam! Instant pecking motion. Others had strong magnets in their feet that latched onto the actor's costume, which had magnets sewn in. That way, the compies could cling to him and then be ripped off dramatically. And they also threw in springs in the neck for that unsettling, twitchy head movement we all remember. And then there were the hero compies. These were the stars. They had servo motors to rotate the head, pneumatic blinking, articulated tails, and in the case of the main puppet, even fully movable arms. Yup, it could literally cling to the actor like a tiny murder gremlin. The wildest part, even the simplest ones, some were just strings and springs, looked amazing on camera. Even Stan Winston himself said, some of them were just strings and springs basically, but they worked beautifully. What we ended up with was this chaotic violet symphony of compy behavior. The result? A scene so intense it was officially ranked the 2nd scariest death in the entire original Jurassic Park trilogy. I remember watching that movie for the first time and being scarred for life. I never imagined that compies could be so deadly, which is why I definitely don't invite them to my birthday parties. They get way too wild. If you also think these dinos are criminally underrated, drop a dino emoji in the comments. Carnotaurus creature technology. We've talked about this company before, along with their traveling exhibit that's been making waves all over the world, Jurassic World: The Exhibition. In short, it's a massive walkthrough experience packed with hyper-realistic dinosaurs where you can come face-to-face with everything from Ankylosaurus to the terrifying Indominus Rex. The masterminds behind these incredible animatronics? Creature Technology, and I can say with absolute confidence, they are the best dinosaur animatronic creators in the world. Just look at their newest Allosaurus, which is actually capable of eating another dinosaur. It's just unreal. But the reason we're here today is because of a new update that recently rolled out at Jurassic World: The Exhibition. The first time we visited this exhibit was in Denver, and the final scene featured a dimly lit facility where you could sense the presence of the T-Rex. Suddenly it burst out from the shadows, roaring and shaking the whole room with incredibly lifelike movements. Just as it seemed like we were about to be eaten, a security guard opened a door and let us escape. It was terrifying, and honestly, one of the coolest animatronic experiences I've ever had. But last year, the exhibit went on tour again, and we caught it in Mexico City, now featuring 2 new creatures. First, there's a massive Ankylosaurus. It moves its tail, and you can get really close to it. Super impressive. But the real showstopper is the brand new Carnotaurus. They completely redesigned the final scene. This time you enter the T-Rex enclosure, but suddenly the T-Rex loses it and is ready to attack. And then from the other side, a gigantic Carnotaurus charges in. Now you're stuck right in the middle of a Titan showdown. A Carnotaurus is huge, and its movement is just so fluid. The lights are going wild, the roars of both dinosaurs echo through the room. It's intense. This scene is truly unforgettable. It's probably the closest you'll ever get to standing in the middle of a real dinosaur battle. Right now, the exhibit is touring the UK, Colombia, Spain, and Singapore. If you get a chance to go, we 100% recommend it. Dolores, Jurassic World Rebirth. Jurassic World Rebirth has been a pleasant surprise for longtime fans of the franchise, and it's breaking all kinds of records. It's very likely this will kick off a brand new trilogy. The film brings the series back to its roots, a tone that feels like a mix between Jurassic Park and The Lost World. And for the first time, we get to see hybrid dinosaurs on the big screen, like our misunderstood friend, the D-Rex. But here's the thing. The movie could have been perfect if it had used more animatronics. Instead, the production went all in on CGI. Don't get me wrong, the effects are amazing. Some scenes, like that jaw-dropping moment with the massive Mosasaurus, would be impossible to pull off any other way. Still, nothing beats the realism of having a real physical animatronic on set. And no, it's not just because I happen to be an animatronic. Be honest. Am I wrong? Tell me in the comments. But hey, at least one animatronic made it into the film, and her name is Dolores. She's a little Aquilops, one of the cutest dinosaurs the franchise has ever introduced. And thank goodness they made it practical for several scenes. Let me tell you, this animatronic is adorable. Just look at how her little eyes move. The actors could pet her on set, and they were obsessed. Director Gareth Edwards even said the days when Dolores was around took way longer to shoot because the crew wouldn't stop playing with her. The animatronic was created by John Rosengrant as creature effects supervisor, with Carl Gallivan as senior animatronics designer. Yep, the same team behind many other amazing dinos we'll be covering soon. 3 different versions of Dolores were built. The main one, nicknamed Dorothy, was the most advanced, and used for close-up shots thanks to its high level of detail. A second version called Simba was designed for scenes where the actors needed to carry her, and a third, plush-style model was used for lighting and framing reference. Dolores was operated remotely using radio control, with a team of puppeteers just off camera. She had multiple internal motors, allowing for an impressive range of motions. Blinking, breathing, subtle head and jaw movement, tail swings, limb motion, even facial expressions. This was all made possible using lightweight materials, including 3D printed parts, making her easier to handle and more agile on set. Okay, personal opinion here, but honestly, Dolores looks way better as an animatronic. In some of the CGI shots, you can really tell she's fake, compared to the physical puppet. I'm just crossing my fingers that they use even more animatronics in the next installment. And if that wasn't enough, Universal also debuted a limited time meet and greet with Dolores. You can see her in person at Universal Studios Hollywood through August 10th as part of Mega Movie Summer. She's carried in a little handler backpack, makes adorable noises, and even opens and closes her eyes. Dolores is hands down the cutest dino in the entire franchise. There are still so many animatronics left to cover in this saga, so if you want a part 5, drop it in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe, it really helps me keep this series going. Claire, the baby Stegosaurus. And we're closing this list with another adorable dino. This time, it's Claire, the baby Stegosaurus. But bringing her to life and actually filming her was a huge challenge. Why? Because this little animatronic baby had to be transported all the way to Hawaii. She was hand sculpted and painted by Dave Grasso, and all the hydraulics and remote control systems were designed by Bob Mano. The animatronic was 4.4 feet tall and about 7 feet long, and it ran on hydraulics using a telemetry system. That meant her movements were super smooth and incredibly precise. Everything moved independently: her head, her neck, her jaw. To give you an idea, I can be controlled with 2 remotes for my eyes, head, mouth, and wings, but this baby dino needed a whole team of 6 puppeteers working in perfect sync. Every head tilt, every breath, every blink, it was all carefully choreographed to make her feel truly alive. Steven Spielberg wanted this dino to be built practically for 2 big reasons. First, to shine in the close-up shots. Because let's be real, Claire looks insanely realistic, especially compared to the adult Stegosauruses, which were mostly CGI. And second, because she was the one interacting directly with Julianne Moore. And like we've said a million times, and we'll keep saying it forever, nothing beats having something real on set to act with. Claire is stunning and super lifelike, but sorry, she still doesn't beat Dolores as the cutest dino in the franchise. Do you agree? And with this precious little dino, we officially wrap up the video. If you made it all the way to the end, don't forget to keep the tradition alive and comment "Last of the Dino Ones" so we can give you a proper shout out. You real ones are the best part of this channel. We love you.